You've only walked half a mile, Barbara. You're out of condition.
Half a mile? No wonder I'm exhausted. Look, let's just stop. Take a break. I need a snack.
You've been snacking since we started. Okay. We should wait for Beth though, anyway.
Where did she go?
Stop to collect some plants or something.
Plants?
Yeah, said we could make tea with them.
Tea? Make tea with plants?
Tea is a plant.
Nettles or something.
Oh, not for me, thank you very much. I've got a thermos of hot chocolate in here. I'm not sharing. Don't even think about asking. It's not in here.
Well, I don't believe it.
That's hilarious.
I don't understand it. Put it in here myself.
Well, you must have taken it out when you put your cagoule in there and forgot to repack it.
And can we please not use the word cagoule either?
I'm sure I put it in.
I don't believe it. Mine's not in here either.
What?
Honestly, you're useless.
Well, we'll just have to have some of yours then, Judy.
Oh, no.
You have got yours.
Oh, now he wants to share. Who wasn't sharing a hot chocolate? Oh. The lid's come off. Oh, it's leaked inside my bag. The whole lot empty, look.
Who's useless now, eh, Judy?
Oh, I don't understand it. I screwed that lid on pretty tight and I was really looking forward to a nice hot beverage and everything's soaked.
And I really don't like the word beverage.
Stop it, Glynis. Well, so much for our survival skills. Hilarious. Beth will have some. She might share, Barbara.
You're making a point. You she won't have anything hot, will she?
You're right there. She said to bring water, didn't she? And we haven't.
Look, here comes Beth now. Barbara, you need to make more of an effort to be nice. You've been pretty hostile so far.
Oh, ladies, stopped already?
We had to stop for Barbara. She's knackered.
Oh, do you mind?
Already? We've only walked half a mile. You're going to need some resilience, Auntie Barbara. We've another 4.5 to go.
Come on, Barbara, resilience, for goodness sake.
Shut up, Glynis.
See what I'm doing here, ladies? Gather and observe, please.
I've just sat down.
So I'm finding a landmark on the map. This here, you see? The old ruins. That's where we're heading for. Now we are here, and the ruins are there. Now, hold your compass flat with the direction of travel arrow pointing directly at the landmark. You see? And to Barbara, you see?
You need to look, Barbara.
Come on, Barbara, a little enthusiasm.
I'm looking.
Beth's giving up her spare time to do this with us.
So, I've lined up the 2 points with the edge of my compass. Now, rotate the bezel. That's this thing here, yes? Yes. Rotate until the orienteering arrow has the needle inside it. Make sure that the orientation lines line up with the grid lines on the map. The arrow must be facing grid north of the map. Yes? Everyone clear so far?
Sorry. You speak in English?
That's fascinating, Beth, but perhaps you should just stop there for now. We oldies need to take subject-specific language like that in bite-sized chunks.
Speak for yourself.
Oh. All right. Well, you can take the next bearing, Glynis. I'll talk you through it when we get there, yes? I have to say, though, ladies, the old ruins was a good choice. Difficult route in parts with diverse range of foliage and ample opportunity to learn new skills. Well, since we've stopped, we might as well take a break. Take on some water and calories. We've got a steep hill climb coming up.
How steep?
It'll give your thigh muscles a good workout.
Oh, God, really?
Slight problem with the taking on of water, Beth. We haven't got any.
What do you mean? I told you all to bring a litre of water.
We don't like water. We bought hot beverages.
Oh, I see.
Only we didn't. There's been a hiccup.
Barbara and Glynis forgot to pack their thermos flasks. Whoever did pack mine, so some brownie points there, I think, but the lid has somehow managed to unscrew itself and the entire contents has leaked inside my bag.
And Barbara doesn't need to be taking on any more calories. She's been doing that since we started, haven't you, Barbara?
What is this? Pick on Barbara Day.
Oh dear. Well, an opportunity to find a water source has presented itself.
Oh, wouldn't it just be easy if we just shared yours?
Bless you. But if you'd remembered my explicit instructions to you all about water, Auntie Glynis, you wouldn't be in this situation now, would you? Would you?
No.
What did I say about water, Auntie Barbara?
Oh,
Barbara!
oh, I know. Water is essential to survival.
Yes. And, Auntie Glynis?
It's more important than food.
So therefore, Barbara...
The most important thing when setting out on a trail is to pack your water bottle.
Yes. And remember, drink only enough to keep yourselves hydrated. You don't want to be wasting that hydration through excess excretion of urine.
Too late for that. Glynis has been in and out of them bushes already.
Do you mind?
So, we now take the opportunity to explore survival skill number 1. Water. How to find a source, purification and storage. Excellent. You know, it's Mum that got me into learning survival skills. We used to pack our rucksacks and head out to some remote location, and we'd spend ages in camping and mountaineering shops, poring over all the gadgets, always coming back with something new.
Sounds a real blast.
Mum would have loved this.
Yes, she would, love.
I mean, the fact that you three are actually out here learning survival skills with me. She said she tried several times to get you out with her when you were all younger. She wanted you to immerse yourselves in nature.
Immerse ourselves in nature.
Yes. Appreciate the beauty of it, you know? Learn how it can sustain us. She said she wanted you to realise that there's more to life than, you know, sitting at home watching telly.
I like sitting at home watching telly. In fact, I'd like to be sitting at home watching telly right now, to be honest.
Yes, I do remember her saying that to us. You must remember, you two, when we were going to stay with Mum and Sandra at their house. And she was always trying to get us out on a hike.
I remember all right. I remember weekends at Mother's in that lovely big house she moved into with her school teacher.
Anyway, I'm sure she's looking down on us and having a good laugh, wouldn't you say?
Yes, love.
Chalk and cheese, she used to say. Her love for the outdoors and your love for the indoors. From a different seed, she used to say.
Seed?
Yes, you know.
Yes, thank you, but there's something very dirty about that word.
Would you prefer the term sperm, Glynis?
Shall we change the subject?
Oh, well, she was from different seed, wasn't she? When Mother got knocked up by the school teacher, you know, that was it. Out the door, suitcase in hand, quicker than Glynis emptying a tin of chocolates at Christmas. Not even a glance back at the three of us, standing at the doorstep.
Barbara.
What?
A time and a place, Barbara.
Well, I don't know about any of that, but I do remember Mum saying there was tension in the family. Between you and Gran, I mean.
What? That's not true, Beth.
Yes, it is.
Glynis.
You know it's true. It was a difficult time at home, wasn't it, before she left us? I mean, her and Dad's life had deteriorated, and to be honest, we didn't make life easy for her, did we? You know what teenagers are like. We were horrible. We were rude, sullen, disrespectful.
We were, actually.
What are you two on about? It was him she was trying to get away from, not us.
It was all of us. I mean, looking back, the things we said to her. And you two used to nick money from her purse and spend it on fags and lager.
Barbara made me do it.
We were all as bad as each other. I mean, yes, Barbara, I'm not surprised she couldn't wait to get out, especially with how Father had become.
Were you close to your father, Albert?
No.
He was a difficult man.
Difficult. That's putting it mildly.
I'd like to hear about him. What did he do for a living?
Not much, if he could help it.
Odds and sods, he was a bit of a jack of all trades.
No, he wasn't. He was a slob.
That's where you get it from, Barbara.
Cheeky man.
Well, he certainly wasn't a master of anything.
Mum said he worked in a depot or a warehouse or something.
What would she know? She never spent any time with him.
Why would she? He was no relation to her.
I don't want to talk about that man. Thank you.
We called him the Walrus.
The walrus, why?
Because he looked like one.
I mean, I know he was our dad, but it's true to say he let himself go towards the end.
He was disgusting.
Barbara, you're so aggressive today.
Before he died, do you mean?
Her mother went off with her school teacher and left us with him.
She didn't just leave us with him, did she? We used to stay with her and that school teacher quite a lot
Paul. My grandfather's name was Paul.
at weekends, and we went on holidays, didn't we, sometimes? But when Sandra was born,
We were cast aside like garbage.
we were only teenagers.
That's not true, Barbara. You're painting a very poor picture of Mum. That's not how it was, and you know it. She said we were always welcome.
The teacher?
Paul?
Whatever. He didn't want us there, that was obvious. Looked down his nose at us, didn't he? Bit of a snob.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I suppose relationships with other people's children can sometimes be tricky. Families can be difficult, can't they? But the problem was solved, wasn't it? Albert died and you inherited the house between you.
Yes, that's right.
Do you mind if I ask, how did he die?
He hit his head on the sink.
On the sink? Gosh, how did you manage that?
He slipped up apparently on water on the floor.
From the freezer, it was defrosting.
Right. I see. Well, that must have been awful. Which one of you found the body?
Barbara,
Well, I, for one, am not sorry.
Barbara.
Oh, stop with the act of innocence, Judith. We were all glad he died. Be honest. He was dreadful to live with. Something had to be done.
Something had to be done.
well, what Barbara means is something had to be done to improve our quality of life, in the fact that we were trying to move out, but finances were tight.
Yeah, we'd all had enough, you see.
I see. Well, it's all right. Mum said she thought as much.
What do you mean?
Look, I know this is upsetting, but she said she thought you might have helped him on his way.
So what are you implying exactly?
Oh, please don't be angry, Auntie Barbara. I mean, I know it was an accident that he slipped and hit his head. She just said he thought he might have been saved
If what?
if he'd called the ambulance sooner. It was his weight, wasn't it, that contributed to his death? What happened?
His weight, yes, that's right. He couldn't breathe, you see. Once he was on his back, he just couldn't. You have to understand, Beth, that our lives at home deteriorated pretty quickly after Mum had left us. He told us it was our job to look after him. He said if we were living under his roof, he expected us to follow his rules.
Skivvies! That's what we were. Cleaning up after him, cooking his food, cleaning the house.
Barbara called it domestic abuse, do you remember? Sorry.
Anyway, things at home deteriorated pretty quickly after that. We used to dread him coming home from work. The moment he stepped through the door, it started. Get me this, go there, clean that, do this. Anyway, that morning he told us to defrost the freezer. It was a solid block of ice. So I unplugged it, planning to tackle it later that evening. He wanted the ice cubes. The packet was wedged into the block.
Ice, consumed by ice.
We needed to get it out before he came home. He always had whiskey and ice when he got in from a hard day's work.
Sitting in a little kiosk all day logging who came in and who went out.
And he expected his dinner on the table and breakfast, or else he got a bit heavy-handed.
Anyway, this particular day when he came home,
I can still remember the look of him, obese and sweaty, balding head, glistening with exertion.
Those brown fingernails.
and wearing that bloody fleece, worn and frayed through perpetual wearing.
Like us.
He used to shed it onto the carpet of the bedroom like a exuviated skin.
That's a big word for you, Glynis.
Anyway, I was just attacking the freezer with a wooden spatula and I managed to extract the ice cubes from the block. Well, it was all very messy. There was water all over the floor. And then an enormous slab of ice dropped from the top of the freezer and landed on my foot. Well, I was barefooted, you see, Beth. I thought I broke my toe.
No one's interested in your toe, Glynis.
So, in he comes, demanding his whiskey. Well, I wasn't ready, was I? The whiskey wasn't prepared. He shouted at me, Beth, right in my face, spit hitting my cheek, his breath rancid. A useless girl, he called me, stabbing my shoulder with a fishy flipper. Clearly, he said. And I remember those jowls hanging and wobbling. I didn't appreciate the fact that he worked his fingers to the bone to keep a roof over our heads and put food on the table.
He often regurgitated those cliches.
That's a big word for you too, Judith.
And every time he did, I wanted to shout back at him, but it's not you that puts food on the table, is it? It's us, every bloody day. We place it in front of you and you shovel it down. And as for working his fingers to the bone, well, hardly.
And then it all kicked off because his dinner wasn't even started.
He shouted at us, wanted to know if we were deliberately trying to make him angry. And I can see those walrus whiskers quivering and curling around his top lip, browned at the edges with nicotine.
And Barbara said, yes, we were.
What?
Yes, we were trying to make him angry.
Right.
He went almost purple in the face, do you remember? Eyes bulging, quite frightening to look at. He threw his whiskey glass across the kitchen. I knew then it wasn't going to end well. I thought, he'll kill one of us.
Then he started to make his own whiskey, throwing things around, huffing and honking at us. Where's the ice, he demanded to know. Then he gripped me round the back of my neck and thrust my head close to the dripping freezer compartment.
And then something happened to Barbara.
What?
She went all still, her fists clenched. Go on, you tell it, Barbara.
For God's sake, well, I'd had enough, so...
You rummaged for scissors to open the bag and turned on Glynis, waving the scissors in her face. Go on, Barbara.
As I was saying, he was so angry. I just knew something awful was going to happen to one of us.
I thought he was going to stab me. He lunged at me.
Something had to be done. I picked up the block of ice with both hands and threw it at his head.
What? No, that's not what. What you mean is, that's when he slipped and hit his head. Right, Barbara. He ducked to avoid the ice.
Yeah, he tried to duck and slipped.
And hit his head on the corner of the sink.
It was still for a moment. Then its knees gave way, and the hulking mass buckled and fell to the floor, seeming to implode like the detonation of an old chimney. I stood over it and wondered if it was dead.
Yes, that's right, you see. He ducked to avoid the ice. That's what Barbara means. That's when he slipped and hit his head on the corner of the sink. He slipped on the water.
It wasn't dead.
No, it wasn't dead. I placed a hand on the expansive chest and felt a slight rising and falling. I stood looking down at it. The immense torso spilling and spreading its blubber across the surface of the kitchen floor.
And then there was a small pool of blood spreading out from beneath its head.
He couldn't breathe. We knew we should phone for an amp.
I bent and squeezed the nostrils together.
What?
And the mouth suddenly opened and a loud grunt was emitted as air was sucked into the cavernous hole. I snapped the jaw together with my other hand.
No, what you mean
and
is that...
waited.
No, that's not what, Barbara.
I see. Well, that's some story.
Emotionally scarred, all three of us.
Yes, but
But what?
it's just you said at the beginning that he slipped and hit his head and then couldn't breathe. That it was his weight and being on his back that killed him.
Yes, that's right. Barbara, stop messing about.
Honestly, you're such a minx. Seriously, Bess, you'd just love to tease.
Well, you had me fooled for a moment there. I thought you'd murdered your own father. Anyway, Mum said that explained it.
Explain what?
The difference in intellect. A different gene pool.
I beg your pardon.
Meaning what exactly?
Well, she was a very intelligent woman, wasn't she? Business savvy. She said it was a blessing that her father was a school teacher. And he, very intelligent man apparently, my grandfather, studied the classics, Latin and that. Loved Shakespeare and Marlowe.
So you spent a lot of time with your grandfather then, did you, Beth?
Oh yes, we were very close. Especially when Gran died.
Oh, that's nice to hear.
He was very dominant in my life, my grandfather. I learnt a lot from him and Dad, of course. My love for Shakespeare, Macbeth in particular, comes from Grandad.
That's lovely.
Anyway, suppose she'll be wondering why you asked me to do this out of the blue after all these years. I mean, I've been wondering myself, what prompted you to get in touch? Mum's death, I suppose. Death does that, doesn't it? Has a way of making you appreciate family relations.
Well, that's just it, Beth. We thought that with your dear mum gone, we'd better, step up.
Step up?
Yeah,
Not really, Auntie Judith.
Look out for you. Be there if you need a mother figure.
I see.
And we know how you love your survival skills teaching.
So we thought, what a brilliant way to start that relationship.
So we're bonding, are we?
Bonding.
Slinny. Yes. Yes, bonding, that's what we're doing. Taking the opportunity to get to know each other better.
It's funny though. I feel I know you all already quite well. Mum used to talk so often of you.
Oh, yeah?
She told me all about you.
Oh, bet she did. Love to be a fly on the wall for that one.
But we don't know you, Beth, and we realise it's our fault.
Because she never made the effort. Didn't even pretend to, Mum said.
Oh, did she really say that?
She also said she was very hurt at first. When I was born, that none of you showed any interest in your only niece. She said she was shocked at your complete disinterest in my existence, especially when none of you had any children of your own, but hey-ho, each to their own and all that. I'm sorry, I didn't quite mean for that to come out. Quite sorry. It's just that all the lost opportunity to be... Anyway, sorry. So, finding a water source. Pick up your bags for your walk and talk. Even a muddy puddle can supply you with water. Tip is, carry a sponge and a plastic bag. Squeeze all the water up into the sponge and then squeeze it into the plastic bag. I got that tip from Pear Grills. You could also carry a couple of condoms to carry water in, if you don't overfill it. Like Bear says, a burst condom's no good to anyone.
Condoms? Carry water in condoms?
And did she just use the term walk and talk? She's asking for a slap.
I'd hand it to you, Glynis. That was outstanding. Very well done.
And what the hell were you playing at?
I was enjoying the memory, I suppose.
Well, it was some performance.
It was like watching a play.
Yeah, well, he believed it, didn't he? All that stuff about father.
I think she felt really sorry for us.
And what was it you said, Barbara? Oh, that's it. Skivvies is what we were.
Who was it that said about him getting heavy-handed? I like that. I mean, can you imagine? You'd have to catch us first.
He moved like a slug, didn't he?
I like the bit about your head being shoved in the freezer compartment, Glynis.
An exfoliated skin. Where did that come from?
A difference in intellect, she said. Barefaced cheek.
I'm just saying, if I don't sit down and eat something soon, I'm going to pass out.
You've been eating your sandwiches for the past half hour.
I need sustenance, Judy. My poor body is not used to such exertion.
I told you to bring ball sweets, Barbara. You need glucose.
I'd offer you sherbet lemon, but they're all wet and sticky.
There she is. Thank God. Lunchtime.
Who are these so width and so wild in their attire that look not like the inhabitants o' the earth, and yet are on?
I beg your pardon.
Macbeth, Act 1, Scene 3. Banquo addressing the three witches on their first encounter. Right, ladies, half an hour for lunch. Take on some food and water.
I've eaten my lunch already.
I see. An opportunity presents itself to you, Auntie Barbara, to explore survival skill number 4, finding food in the wild.
Oh, God.
I do have to say, filtering that river water through our socks was impressive, Beth.
I just wish we didn't have to use our actual socks from our feet.
Wet feet, or dying of dehydration in polluted water, Glynis. Prioritise. You can always dry your socks. Take it from Bear Grylls. Dysentery, stomach cramps and bloody poo are not what you want in the wild.
Bloody poo, oh my God.
Such a lovely turn of phrase.
Wild plants, Barbara. Have a rummage in the undergrowth and see what you can find that you think might be edible.
If you don't mind, dear, I'm just going to lie here for a while. Take a load off, so to speak.
Remember, Auntie Barbara, resilience.
You got those sherbet lemons there, Glynis.
Would you ladies like to make some tea with that plant I collected this morning? You'd have to boil the river water though. Filtering is all well and good, but all water should be purified, which means we could explore survival skill number 2, making a fire.
I think Barbara could do with a nice hot cuppa.
Oh, yes, please. Sock filtered with the water, I'm gasping.
You know, I've wondered why you all call yourselves by your full names. I mean, you never address yourselves as Judy or Glyn. Always Judith, Glynis, Barbara. And you always called Mum Sandra, never Sandy, which is what her friends called her. Why is that?
We don't like each other. Never have.
Oh, Barbara, that's not true.
Yes, it is.
It's okay.
As sisters, we couldn't be more different. We put up with each other, that's all.
Is that why you didn't make contact with Mum? After I was born? Because you didn't like her? She said you were jealous of her.
Jealous? Of Sandra? Why would we be jealous of her?
Because she was the only one that made a successful career for herself. Made herself a fortune from scratch, with no help from anyone. Had a nice house, a husband and me. She said when you all started asking her for money after not having spoken to her or me since I was born, or even coming to Dad's funeral, she saw you for what you were.
Asked her for money? I never asked her for... Wait, yes I did.
She offered that money to me. I didn't want it. I refused, but she insisted.
Was that when the bailiff was coming to take away the TV, Glynis?
The car, I think.
Saw us for what we were, and what were that?
Mum said you were as sweet as anything when you needed money, but as soon as you got it, she never saw you again until the next time she needed bailing out.
Well, it seems your mum said quite a lot of things, hasn't she?
Look, Beth, it's true. None of us are close, which is a shame. But now that we're getting older, we find each other's company a bit more tolerable. We three have always been more connected with each other than Sandra, which is why we find it difficult to engage with her, I suppose. Do you agree, girls?
Girls? Since when have you addressed us as girls? You're singing Come By Our next.
I love that song. We used to sing that in the Brownies.
You were never in the Brownies.
Wasn't I? I remember the brown overalls.
Oh, for goodness sake, Judith. What planet are you on?
What?
Those were what you wore in the youth offending institution.
Oh, but I remember the woods around the fire and singing that song.
Rehabilitation through Forest School.
Oh, yes, I remember now. What does it mean, come by ours?
God knows.
He does actually, if you believe in God, that is. It means come by here. It is a plea to God to come by here, to make his presence felt in times of need. But I sense Barbara is sneering at it in the sense that it's become more shorthand for harmony and unity, I suppose.
Someone's crying, Lord, come by us. Someone's crying.
You'll be crying in a minute, Judith, if you don't stop. Seriously? What is wrong with you? Have you been smoking something?
What do you mean?
I swear to God, you're away with the fairies most of the time.
Look, Beth, I'm sure we were all very fond of Sandra in our own way. And yes, I hold my hand up. I admit it. I was jealous of her. I mean, she was the pretty one right from the start. She was the only one of us who went to university. There we were, working in Tesco's, McDonald's or Barbara. Not at all. So, why wouldn't we be jealous of her? I mean, Beth, you struck it lucky having Sandra for your mum. Imagine having one of us as your mother.
Yes, and look where you are now, Beth, a clever girl yourself, fresh out of university.
With that lovely big house to live in, all by yourself and all that money your mum left you.
I mean, you're set up for life now. We don't really need to work at all, do you, lucky girl?
All that money, all for yourself. What a lucky girl you are.
I'd rather have Mum back. I miss her dreadfully.
But all that money to help ease the pain of her passing.
Yes, of course you do, darling.
Please don't call me darling, Auntie Judith. Or love, for that matter. It just sounds a bit phony, doesn't it? After 22 years of no contact with any of you.
Oh, okay, of course. But we realise now what a mistake that was, Beth. Not having you in our lives. What we might have missed out on. Right, girls?
Oh, can we drop the girls thing or I may vomit?
Right, girls?
Right.
Yes, right. Absolutely.
So, how about a fresh start? Use today to really get to know each other. What do you say, Beth?
All right.
Oh, lovely.
Look, I can see you're all tired. Why don't I just go and get some wood for the fire and you three can have a breather? I would get your waterproofs on now. The heavens are going to open up any time now.
Great idea.
Oh, thank you, Beth. You're so kind.
Right. We'll do it here.
Waterproofs. Did you bring waterproofs?
I've got a cagoule. Yes, I did say that word.
I thought we were going to do it when we got to the old ruins.
Change of plan. I can't actually stand her bleating on anymore.
Yes, she's irritating, I'll give you that.
Absolutely. I'm with Barbara. We're in the middle of nowhere, no one around, ideal opportunity.
When she comes back, you distract her with the making a fire business. I'll come up from behind.
Oh, God!
Ah, not getting cold feet, are you, Judith?
Better not be. Think of the money.
It's just the thought of the actual, you know.
Killing.
Yes, it's very brutal.
And we agreed it had to look like an accident.
Where's the fun in that?
Like Dad.
What?
We said it had to look like an accident.
Can you focus on the here and now, Judith? You said, think of the money.
Yeah.
So, if we stab her to death and they find the body, there'll be a murder investigation.
Ah, yes, of course.
And the first thing the police will do is check who inherits Sandra's estate in the event of her death.
Still can't believe she named us. I mean, that's about 2 million each, plus the house, remember?
My mouth's watering just thinking about it. Talking of water, I'm really thirsty. Has anyone got any water? I can't wait for that tea.
Only river filtered, not a nice taste, and it's not purified.
Pinch some of Beth's. She won't notice.
Oh, this doesn't taste much better. Very odd taste.
Well, that'll be the sherbet lemons. They make water taste funny. She got any food in there?
Looks like blueberries or blackberries, that's about it.
Oh, whatever. Give 'em here.
So, we're going to stick to our original method then of pushing her off the top of the ruins.
Suppose so. Party pooper.
We're going to get soaked.
Right, ladies, no point making a fire, the heavens are about to open. I see you've helped yourself to my supplies.
Sorry, but I was thirsty. The river water didn't appeal. Gritty, despite the top filtering.
I see. Who ate the berries?
Me?
And me. You're not cross with this, Beth.
Not cross, Glynis, just disappointed. Ah, Barbara, finally, you've actually brought something I told you to. However, when I said to bring a penknife, I was imagining something a little more subtle.
Oh, is this a dagger I have before me? Yes? Brownie points there, I think.
Is this a dagger which I see before me?
It's all I had.
You could bring down a bear with that.
Oh, the bear.
I think I should take that, don't you?
No.
You could hurt yourself or someone else. What?
Oh, someone else.
Sorry, I don't quite.
Oh, Barbara, just give her the knife. We're not going to need it now.
Not gonna need it now. What do you mean? What did you think you'd be needing it for? Or were you intending to hunt? We can explore that survival skill if you like. I saw a rabbit back there. I could show you how to make a snare.
Oh God, no thank you. I'll stick to my sandwiches.
Survival skill number 6, how to bait and snare your prey. In the field of wild food survival, a good sharp knife is crucial.
Bait and snare your prey. No, I like the sound of that.
In Norway, there's a proverb, a knifeless man is a lifeless man. I'm sure you all understand the meaning behind that statement. And another consideration is what type of blade you opt for. A serrated edge could help you cut through tougher items.
Like bone.
Small animals, yes.
What about large mammals?
Thrilled you're showing some interest at last, Auntie Barbara. But you won't be killing any large mammals today.
That's what she thinks.
That's enough, Barbara. Joke's over.
Seriously, Barbara, you can't walk round with an unsheathed knife. Give it here.
Barbara!
Unsheathed.
Shut up, Glynis!
So, I've eaten my lunch. Barbara, I understand, has consumed hers. We'll have 20 minutes for you two to eat yours. I suggest you do that now before the rain comes.
To be honest, I don't fancy my sandwiches.
Too soggy.
Actually, I don't feel too good. Stomachache.
I feel a bit rough myself.
It's a real shame we forgot our flasks. I could do with a nice hot coffee and brandy now.
I still don't understand how we managed to forget them.
You didn't. I took them.
What?
What? Why?
I wanted to teach you a lesson. I told you explicitly to bring water. Water can be used for a number of survival skills. Hot to your coffee or luxury items.
You mean you went into our bags?
Really, Beth? Shouldn't go into people's bags. That's just not...
Actually, Glynis, I think we should stop there.
Yes, Glynis, I think you should stop being a tad hypocritical, I think.
Tad?
Well, why didn't you take mine?
I was in the process of doing so when you came back. I just had time to unscrew it so the contents would leak out. You see, I wanted to ensure that you had to rely on me for liquids.
I don't feel well at all.
Yes, I suppose I wanted to teach you a lesson, but you see, I had to make sure you'd drink the water from my bottle. I knew you'd go into my bag, and you have a history of stealing after all, and as I said earlier, I think I know you all quite well.
I'm not sure I understand, Beth. What are you saying?
I feel really dizzy. Is it me or is it all hot all of a sudden? I'm sweating.
You've been paying attention. You've noticed I haven't been drinking the water from this bottle. I've been using this one.
You mean the water Judith drank is what? It has something in it.
What? What's it got in it? I said it tasted funny, didn't I? Am I going to have bloody poo?
What did you put in it, Beth?
The same plant I was going to make the tea with.
Nettles?
Have you heard of deadly nightshade?
Oh my God!
What is it?
Clues in the name, Judith. The deadly part. You might know it by another name. Belladonna.
Oh my God! It's really poisonous! Beth, what have you done?
Belladonna, by the way, is the Italian for beautiful lady. Not that we can apply that term to any of you three witches.
Poisonous? How poisonous? Am I going to be really ill?
I'm afraid so.
What a sick way of teaching us a lesson.
That's what these stomach pains are then. How long am I going to be exactly?
Oh, very. Actually, Auntie Judith, you'll probably be dead in about half an hour.
She's joking.
I'm going to be sick though.
God.
I feel really, really unwell. You nasty little... Oh, wait a minute. I didn't drink any of the water. Neither did you, Glynis.
In fact, the whole plant is poisonous. The leaves, the flowers, the roots. The roots are the most poisonous part, but the most dangerous part, I suppose, are the berries. I mean, they just look so tempting and have that slightly sweet taste.
The berries.
Oh my God. The berries. The berries, Barbara. We ate the berries. How many did you eat? Oh.
Yes, in fact, eating a single berry is enough to kill a small child.
Oh my God, I've had several.
Stop it, Glynis! She's joking. You're reacting exactly how she wants you to.
Are you joking, Beth? Are you? Aren't you?
I'd make your peace with God now, Glynis. Perhaps a chorus of Kumbaya would be pertinent.
God.
You might need to call him to come by here. You need all the help you can get getting through the pearly gate.
How could you? I never would have thought it of you. You look so...
What? Naive? Gullible? Innocent? Look like the innocent flower that be the serpent under.
What?
Lady Macbeth to Macbeth. Act 1, Scene 5. They have invited King Duncan to the castle, you see. They plan to kill him. She tells him to appear friendly and welcoming. Yet all the time they're plotting to stab him to death in his bed. I mean, who else do we know that appears sweetness and light in appearance, but in reality is actually planning cold-blooded murder? Anyone?
I can't feel my legs.
The toxins of deadly nightshade anti-Barbara attack the nervous system. You're beginning to experience some of the symptoms. Other symptoms include convulsions, hallucinations, delirium and coma. How do you like those words, Glynis? Any in there you find particularly annoying?
I can't see properly. Everything's gone blurry.
All right. You've had your fun. How did you know
How did I know what?
that we were planning to...
Murder me for Mum's money?
Please, please, Beth, please make it stop.
We're really, really sorry, Beth.
3 greedy little piggies, eh? Willing to murder your own flesh and blood. Your sister's child, for God's sake. But of course, you've already done that once before, haven't you? Murdered your own flesh and blood, I mean. Murdered your own father to get your hands on the house. That ridiculous story about Albert being aggressive and heavy-handed, treating you all like skivvies. What a load of bollocks. It's interesting, Barbara, that you should describe Albert as a slob. Because that's exactly what you are, isn't it?
Cheeky man.
All that talk of Albert not working hard, not having any particular skill, you've barely had a job yourself, have you? Any of you? Albert, that gentle giant of a man, went out to work, or you 3 leeches bled him dry. Did you steal from him as well?
How dare you?
You did nothing around the house, did you? It was Albert that cooked and cleaned most of the time, wasn't it?
What would you know? Is this Sandra, is it, filling your head with all these lies?
Not lies. Gran told me everything. What it was like living with you 3. And of course what you don't know is that I knew Albert.
What?
Now who's talking bollocks?
You did not.
Oh yes, I did. Gran stayed on very good terms with Albert. They used to meet up sometimes in the park, or for a coffee, and she would take me with her. He'd bring bread and we'd feed the ducks. Or he'd bring me little gifts, and colouring books and crayons, jigsaw puzzles, that kind of thing. Buy me Christmas and birthday presents.
Did you know about this?
It's lies, Glynis.
Actually, I do remember coming home one day to find a child's jigsaw puzzle on the table.
Well, anyway, you accuse us of murdering our own flesh and blood. That's a tad hypocritical, don't you think, when you claim to have poisoned us all?
I thought you didn't like the word tad, Glynis.
Oh, for God's sake, Judith.
Because that's hypocritical, isn't it? I mean, saying you don't like it, but then blatantly using...
Be quiet.
Shut up! For God's sake. She's bluffing. Yes, Beth. Very well done. You've really taught us all a lesson. Now, how long are these effects going to last?
The effects? You mean how long have you got left to live? 15 minutes for Judith because she drank the water, so the poison will enter her system much more quickly. For you two, about half an hour, I should think.
I think she's being serious, Barbara.
So do I.
I'm deadly serious. Deadly. Get it? You see, it'll appear like a complete accident. Quite fitting given your predilection for making murder look like an accident. 3 inexperienced hikers venture into the forest and mistakenly pick the wrong plant to brew for tea. Oh, I'll leave the gas burner with the pan filled with the rest of the water. And the bag, of course, will provide the evidence of how you 2 died. You know, Mum and Dad always used to call you 3 witches.
I still don't believe you.
Oh, wait, Beth. There's something you should know.
Oh?
I mean, talking about flesh and blood. You're more flesh and blood than you realise.
Shut up, Judith.
Oh, yes, Beth. We have information that'll make you rethink what you're doing.
That's enough.
Really? What information do you have that you think will make me save you?
See? I told you she was bluffing. She's just said she can save us.
Well, remember earlier when I said you struck it lucky having Sandra as a mother?
Yeah.
And then I said, imagine having one of us as your mother.
Yes, and how I laughed at that appalling notion.
Well,
That's enough, Glynis!
Barbara is your birth mother.
We're not joking, Beth.
No, it's true. Tell her, Barbara.
tell her.
I see. Well, why on earth do you think that would make me change my mind, do you think?
'Cause she's your mother.
Exactly. All the more reason to watch you die a slow and painful death. Don't you think, Barbara? After all, you did leave me to die hours after I was born, dumped behind some dustbins in a back alley, didn't you?
You know.
Yes, of course. Mum told me everything when I turned 16. That's why Gran used to take me with her to meet up with Albert. He was my grandfather. You murdered my grandfather.
Sandra told you? Why would she do that, I wonder?
Why, you stupid woman, because she wanted to protect me from you. She was aware of just how evil you three witches are. She knew that if anything happened to her, you three vultures would be circling. She suspected that you would plan some awful way to get your hands on the money.
Why did she name us to inherit in the event of your death then? Doesn't make any sense.
Because it was part of the plan.
What plan?
When Mum's cancer was diagnosed as terminal, we came up with this little plan to put you down.
Put us down? We're not animals.
Well, you're barely human. To be human, what does that mean? Barbara? Well, let's see. One can say that being human is to have reasoning, morality and consciousness, I suppose. Now, can we apply any of those attributes to you three? What else? Let's think. Well, having some form of social relations comes under being human, wouldn't you say? Albert had all of those things. In abundance. He was a lovely human being. Whereas we look at you three, you see the difference. Humans are distinguished by a highly developed brain and a resultant capacity for articulate speech and abstract reasoning. So perhaps we can say you're less human, more ape.
What are you wittering on about?
Mum told me, Barbara, how the only way she could get you to tell her what you'd done with the baby was to pay you. And to pay you a lot more to allow her to adopt me. So, putting you in the will to inherit in the event of my death was done on purpose. It was bait. Survival skill number 6, remember? How to bait and snare your prey. We suspected that you'd find some drastic way to get your hands on the money. Mum said to me, a few days before she died, she said, "Get ready, Beth. Something wicked this way comes." And as soon as she died, there you were. Bingo. On my doorstep with your sycophantic platitudes.
Judith! Judith! Are you okay? Oh my God! I think she's dead!
Don't be ridiculous.
Really, Barbara? She's not breathing! I can't feel her pulse!
Yep. Dead as a dodo. One down.
Help! Help! Somebody help us!
Do be quiet, Glynis. Nobody can hear you. You're in the middle of nowhere.
Well, darling daughter, looks like you've inherited some evil genes from your birth mother. If I didn't hate you quite so much, I think I might be quite proud of your achievements here today.
Do shut up, Barbara.
I need to sit down. I can't feel my legs.
Should have had a termination. I knew it was a mistake to let you live.
As it would be my mistake to let you live. Say you have about 15 minutes. It might be time for me to learn a new survival skill. Number 7. How to skin and butcher your kill.
Please.
No, you're right. We're just leaving for the animals to enjoy. Come thick night, powder in the dullest smoke of hell. Keen knife, see not the wound it makes, nor heaven peep through the blanket of dark to cry, hold, hold.
Also, a special hand for Voirry, who stepped in at the last moment.
Love is wise, hatred is foolish. In this world, which is getting more and more closely interconnected, we have to learn to tolerate each other. We have to learn to put up with the fact that some people say things that we don't like. We can only live together in that way. And if we are to live together and not die together, we must learn a kind of charity and a kind of tolerance, which is absolutely vital to the continuation of human life on this planet.